Top 20 villains of the year. Part 2, 1 through 10 will be uploaded on my other channel, the link in the bio. Number 20, Dr. Voller from Indiana Jones. This guy is just another Nazi pretty much, but the good news is that he's played by Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen is one of the best villain actors of the modern day, and he's just as good in this role. He's one of the best things about this movie. I love him on screen. Sure, he has some moments of a little goofiness, but at the end of the day, I still enjoyed him. Number 19, I have the Cocaine Bear itself. Dude, talk about intimidating. Maybe one of the more intimidating villains from the whole year. It is super unique. It is super creative. It's kind of funny, and there are just some insanity crazy scenes. In addition to its existence being kind of a joke, hey, the bear's on cocaine. Second of all, it actually is a legit threat in this film, and the characters in this movie are good enough to where we care about them, so then when you throw in the Cocaine Bear into the mix, damn dude, that's a solid dynamic. Up next, I have Kang the Conqueror from Ant-Man. Ant-Man, not a great film, I'll admit that, but Kang is one of the better parts. It really sucks that Kang is this low on my whole entire list, because theoretically, going into the year, I would have thought he'd be one of the better ones. But no, he's not. He has a few cool scenes here and there, a few cool lines, but he also kind of has some duds. And look, me just saying, me personally, having a bunch of ants kill your next Thanos, not a good plan. Up next, I have William Afton from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. William Afton, again, not in the movie that much. He's got one scene in the beginning, one scene at the end, and that's about it. But I will say, dude, Matthew Lillard is a freaking firework in this role, man. He's creepy and ominous in the intro, and at the end, he brings out the insanity. Of course, we get him in his Bonnie suit. It's iconic. We all love it. He says some of the lines that, looking back, don't make a lot of sense. I always come back. You haven't gone yet. What do you mean you always come back? You haven't gone anywhere. Up next, I have the Marquis from John Wick, Chapter 4. Bill Skarsgård is an amazing actor. I love this guy in almost every role I've seen him in. And for a film crowded with villains, I think the Marquis does a solid job of holding his own. You know, he is the big final villain of this film. And while he's not as good as some of the other smaller villains, the dude's still awesome. Who could forget that epic duel scene at the end? And throughout the movie, they thread some good scenes to show how intimidating and scary this guy is. And I think that all of that writing, the scenes combined with Bill Skarsgård, it makes him a pretty solid villain. In 15th place, though, I have Scourge. That's right, this is Scourge from Transformers. Let's talk good things, okay? The guy is cool. The guy is intimidating. Peter Dinklage, always a W. Peter Dinklage as a villain, gigantic W. He has some cool powers. I like seeing him go up against Transformers. And me personally, I'm not super into Transformers, but you know, sometimes I kind of get sick of Megatron, really the only Transformers villain. So seeing somebody else, it's refreshing. Up next, I have Dracula. Dracula, played by Nicolas Cage in Renfield. This is the most memorable thing about the whole entire movie. Nicolas Cage is so just untethered in this film. He's absolutely insane. Someone recently told me it feels like Nick Cage knows about the memes in this role and he's just going crazy. He's just being really weird and over the top. I like it. I think it's funny, and I think it fits the tone of this movie pretty well. But also, like, I mean, let's be serious for a second. There are some legit intimidating scenes in this thing where he makes for a solid vampire. Up next, after that, I have Superfly. Superfly from TMNT the movie. He's pretty much Killmonger if you think about it, but with bugs and animals instead of black people. But you know, it's a good formula. I'll give him that. What I like about Superfly is they don't dumb down the motive to a kid's film, right? Sometimes kids movies, they just go the basic route. I want the power route. I want the money route. But this movie doesn't do that. It gives a legit villain that complements the turtles really well and shows the flaws with Splinter's ideology, and I think that's important. It teaches kids not to judge a book by their cover, you know? Don't judge people based off of stereotypes, and I like that stuff. Ice Cube is awesome in the role, one of his best roles, in my opinion. Come at me. After this, I'm scared to say her name wrong, so I'm going to say the actress's name. We have Viola Davis's character from The Hunger Games, A Songbird of Snakes and Salad. Dude, Viola Davis always is going to be a gigantic win, where whichever role she picks, she's one of the best actors in general that we have. And dude, she brings an absolute presence to this role. Hot damn. Maybe my favorite Hunger Games villain of all time, even better than the Snowman, the Snow Miser himself. What I like about her, especially compared to Old Man Snow in the first batch of Hunger Games, is she's not as like monotone, you know? She's having fun, like torturing people, but also when she gets serious, dude, she's scary. She's a scary villain. All her stuff with her snakes and her manipulation and all that stuff. When Snowball's in the room with her, I'm scared. I don't like Snowball because he's a bad guy, but I'm still scared for him because she's even scarier. In 11th place, the final honorable mention, if you will, in the top 20, I have Spider-Man 2099. Miguel O'Hara himself. This guy is a very solid villain. I like this guy. Yes, he's only in the second half of the movie. Yes, we have to get beyond the Spider-Verse to complete his story, but for what we've seen so far, I liked him a lot. Oscar Isaac, again, W. But on top of that, he's intimidating, he's interesting. Yeah, he has just the multiverse motive that every multiverse villain has of like, oh man, my family died in this dimension, so they went to another dimension to get my family again. Oh no, it didn't go well. Also known as Wanda, also known as the Flash movie, every motive ever in the multiverse. But there's enough about him. I still like that theme. Hot damn, that theme goes incredibly hard. Really excited to see where he goes in next film. I think we'll get that redemption. Maybe he won't even be a villain for the next time he's there. But that's my list. For numbers 10 through 1, make sure you subscribe to my other channel, J Films. I'm going to be uploading that in a few days. Thanks for watching. Let me know what villains you really like. Talk to you later.